How Rotten Tomatoes is changing an industry. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Success Tank. Can you imagine starting a new show without looking at its rating on Rotten Tomatoes? No, right? Us neither. Rotten Tomatoes is a website that compiles reviews and ratings for movies and TV shows from all over the internet to produce a consensus rating. It was founded in 1998 by a few friends as a project to collect feedback for a new Jackie Chan film, and it was successful. Only within a few years, it was attracting a lot of traction. Here is how Rotten Tomatoes is changing the industry. A panel of film critics met in 2008 to discuss the future of film reviewing as a discipline in the internet era. Tomatoes are rotten. Fandango is a film by Fandango Productions. IMDb is a collection of movies and television shows. When we're thinking about watching a movie, we go straight to those websites to see what other moviegoers have to suggest. We used to depend on the reviews of a select few reviewers with editorially approved authority to determine whether a film was good or bad. When blogs and the internet began to threaten the art of film criticism in 2008, the journal Cineast assembled a panel of critics to discuss the future of film reviewing as a discipline in the internet era. Most were remarkably complimentary about the potential of online bloggers as professional film critics, though admitting to concern about the future of their careers and stressing the difference between a blogger and a critic. The critics reluctantly agreed that film reviews should be more democratic and that the internet offered a fresh and innovative way to connect with viewers and engage in debate. Blogs and websites allowed for freedom of expression, voices, and opinions that were not bound by editorial standards, reader expectations, or the interests of advertisers. The main problem with Rotten Tomatoes was that it had become such a go-to place for people that it could ruin a movie much faster than was traditional, says Bruce Nash, the creator and publisher of movie data provider The Numbers. You used to go on Friday with your parents and you'd talk to them about the movie before agreeing to go on Saturday. But it's a lot more immediate now. While Rotten Tomatoes had been around since 1998, its traffic and popularity had grown over time, particularly after Comcast's Fandango purchased Rotten Tomatoes and its parent site Flixster in 2016. According to Ben Carlson, SVP and General Manager of Entertainment Research at MarketCast, Rotten Tomatoes ratings were being woven into ticket buying actions in new and different ways. The Rotten Tomatoes number became much more of a pass-fail for people, as there were many movies they could make decisions on, Carlson continues. Because Rotten Tomatoes ratings were incorporated into the Fandango buying process. Studios were alarmed, and one major studio's CEO told the New York Times' Brooke Barnes that he was making it his task to ruin the site. A counter-narrative emerged a few days after the Times article was written. Yves Bergquist, the founder and director of USC's Entertainment Technology Center's Data and Analytics Project, published a fast study on Medium that found no connection between 2017 Rotten Tomatoes scores and overall box office returns or opening weekend earnings. Bergquist's conclusion that Rotten Tomatoes is not responsible for sabotaging box office success reverberated around the internet, with stories from Variety, The New York Times, and others. Readers can come away with one of two contradictory assumptions, depending on the week and the website. Either Rotten Tomatoes are killing the movie industry, or it didn't matter. Box office sales were down just 2.7% year over year by the end of 2017, and revenues rebounded to a new high in 2018. The great Rotten Tomatoes terror of 2017 began to seem exaggerated. Maybe the drop wasn't due to the size of the website, but to the size of the images. Whenever the box office has a decline, the studio executives would think, "Well, it's not us," Nash says. "It's the website Rotten Tomatoes. It's not that we're making films that no one wants to see. It's that Rotten Tomatoes is telling them not to view." The changes to Rotten Tomatoes' audience score policies and reviewer approval procedure could have contributed to the declines, but there may have been more at play. With major studios releasing fewer films each year than they used to, Lynn speculates that viewers may be factoring in that many of the big-budget films would be mediocre, but still want the spectacle they can only get on the big screen. Rotten Tomatoes also gives ratings to streaming and premium on-demand movies. When people don't have to leave their houses, though, it seems that they don't pay as much attention to review ratings. Carlson believes that Rotten Tomatoes scores had a huge, major influence on the discourse around new releases up until this February's Birds of Prey. According to Carlson, MarketCast's social media analytics support the results we've discussed, that a higher Rotten Tomatoes score has traditionally correlated not just with increased social media conversation, but also with increased box office, and that the impact has varied depending on genre, size of release, and whether the score was extreme in one way or another. However, if the future of movies moves away from the cinema, those debates could fade. The bar is lower in terms of your standards of quality often at home and for what it takes to press play from your couch versus getting in your car and going to the theater, Carlson says. As a result, the Rotten Tomatoes rating isn't part of the debate in the same way it was around theatrical. To put it another way, Hollywood got what it wanted. Rotten Tomatoes ratings might be fading into obscurity, however, the achievement came at a cost much greater than any threat presented by low ratings. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.